a very special post-season phone interview with Ryan from Big Brother Canada 6, where we're taking questions that you guys submitted to us over on Twitter to see what Ryan thinks now, post-eviction. Now look, you can send us your questions after the eviction episode every Thursday night. Just tweet us at Reality Recaps using hashtag YRRLive, and we'll go over them. We'll pick the best ones to ask Ryan. But don't worry, hopefully Ryan will be coming on our show post-season as well for a full hour to take questions from you guys in the chat room over at yourrealityrecaps.com/younow. So just become a fan over there so you're alerted every time we go live. We talk about Big Brother every single night of the week, so you will get alerted every time we go live. Of course, if you missed any of our previous shows, they're over at yourrealityrecaps.com/bbcan. You can see our shows with the evicted house guest, the past phone interviews, get the recap blogs, spoiler sheets, everything is over there for this and previous seasons as well. Of course, all the other shows we cover are over there too. Now look, if you want to help support our shows and everything we do, consider becoming a patron over at yourrealityrecaps.com/patron. You get access to the patron-only shows, prize giveaways just for patrons, the after shows with house guests, so much more. It really helps support our shows and keeps us bringing you more content like what we do here for Big Brother Canada. It will also help us get to Canada for finales so we can live stream the finale parties, backyard interviews, and more for you guys. But we need to see what Ryan is thinking right now. So, hey Ryan, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
Great. So, first question for you. Were you honestly curious about what was happening in the house when you were asking Johnny to tell you the state of the house before eviction yesterday? Or was that really something that you were going to maybe use against him in your eviction speech to try and stay?
I was pretty resigned to that point that I was going to go home. I don't think that the eviction pleas this season were ever going to change anybody's mind. This particular cast makes up their mind on Wednesday, and they're not changing it for any reason as things go forward. So I did honestly want to hear from Johnny exactly what was going on, because as a future juror, having all the information I can have would help me make a better decision when it came down to things. So now I'm going to have to either rely on Johnny spilling the beans when he gets to the jury house, which I hope that he doesn't, or have to mine the information from the jurors individually as they show up in the house. So I did really just want the information. I know everybody assumes that I'm this crazy manipulator guy, but I knew I was going home after spending 16 of the previous 20 days on the block. I had no pitch left. If people were buying what I was selling, they would have bought it on Tuesday. They wouldn't have waited until Thursday right before eviction.
Right. Do you regret nominating Andrew and Hamza, or do you think that bought you a few weeks in the house?
It may have bought me a few weeks in the house, but that doesn't mean I don't regret it. I really anticipated knowing the game as well as I do, I really anticipated being able to convince people to throw the veto so that one of Andrew or Hams could come down. I had a plan for Liv to be backdoored. I had people telling me that they would vote for that to happen if it did happen. And once $5,000 and a trip outside the house became available, no longer was anybody willing to throw the veto.
Okay. Do you feel that being such a fan of the show was an advantage, or did it make it harder for you, always thinking and maybe anticipating too much?
Yeah, I think exactly that. I think going in with the knowledge I had, but not the specific knowledge, because I was never a live feed guy. I never watched the feeds. I never watched any of that. I was always just the guy that watched the show. So there were things that certainly surprised me, things that I wasn't ready for. And as a guy who speculates all the time about the better way to do things, or how, the process can be better, in my day job, moving into a house where open speculation was considered as threatening as opposed to beneficial was somewhat surprising to me as well. So I think if I didn't know the game as well as I do, I wouldn't have been able to spew game theory as often as I did, which led to people thinking that I had too in-depth a knowledge to be allowed to stay.
Right. What was the strategy behind you telling Kayla who was gunning for her and Derek when she was the HOH?
Why not? I don't necessarily care for Kayla that much. And again, I did it. I made the same mistakes in week 2 that I made again this week. I had no problem telling people that people were gunning for them, because in my head, when I hear that someone's coming after me, the person that gives me that information is somebody that is somebody that's more trustworthy, because they are giving me the information. When Kayla told me the week before that everybody was trying to blindside me, I believed that, and it ended up being true. So I thought she might want the same kind of information. I mean, at the end of the day, anything that makes Kayla make a bad decision is a good thing for me. And spending the whole day lying to the house and saying I wasn't going on the block, only to turn around and put me on the block, that's bad for Kayla. Right. So it all worked out.
All right, last question, Ryan. You had said earlier in the season that you didn't want to be the first one to jury. Do you wish that Canada hadn't saved you last week, or are you now happy to be the first person to jury?
You know, you're the first person to ask me the question in those terms, and so that's going to change my answer entirely. I did not want to be the first person in the jury, because that the explanation is that's as far away from my family as I can get without playing the game. However, knowing that Canada saved me and I got another week in the house, and knowing how much time is left now versus when we all thought the first member of the jury was going out, means that I'm not spending more time in the jury house than I would have in the game. When we were talking about a 9-member jury, you were talking about 42 days in the jury house versus 28 days in the actual house. And that wasn't a tenable position for me. So the idea now that that's reversed and we've got about 4 weeks left of actual time versus the 6 or 7 weeks I spent in the house, it's a little less daunting a thought to be a part of the jury.
Right. Well, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us, Ryan.
Anytime.
Well, that about wraps up our quick phone interview with Ryan. Again, don't forget you can see all of our previous content over at yourrealityrecaps.com/bbcan. If you want to help support our shows, consider becoming a patron over at yourrealityrecaps.com/patron to get all the details of the ways you can help support our shows, and become a fan over on YouNow, yourrealityrecaps.com/YouNow, so that you are alerted every single time we go live. Thumbsing up and subscribing over on YouTube really helps for free as well, so does leaving a 5-star rating and a nice review over on iTunes. We love, love, love all of you, and I will see you guys all on the next show. Bye for now, everybody. Bye.